What's up, everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. This is Mystic Raven. All right, guys. So I just got out of the public test. Been in there for a little while, testing some stuff. I'm not going to give any details because the NDA. Um, Somebody had asked me, to test a couple of different classes, a couple of different builds. Just been playing around pretty much. Everything looks really good. Devs really outdid themselves with a lot of things. So a lot of really cool things going on. So on that end, definitely impressive. PvP, as far as like a couple of the classes, not a lot of changes. So as far as the current classes, I can't talk about the Warden. But as far as Magicka DK, really good still. Really strong. Magicka Templar, definitely noticeable. Depending on, what you're doing, really good. Magicka Templar is still solid. I've just messed with the Magicka build so far. Magicka Nightblade, good. More support type aspect to the build. It can cloak in and out, dodge in, kind of still have some of the stamina aspects because of the utilities, so it has its strengths, but weaknesses, it definitely lacks the impact that the stamina Nightblades that I'm noticing are really, pushing. So, I'll test the stamina Nightblade tomorrow and some of the stand builds. Magicka Sorks, you're going to have to be a little careful with your build, okay? If you build to a glass cannon with this update for PvP, you can hit really hard, okay? That's typical sorcerer stuff. But however, if you build that way, you get mauled pretty fucking quick. Really quick. They just, but some of the players I've noticed have taken, note of what's been going on. Just made minor adjustments, and sorcerers are still good. So overall, the Magicka builds, I haven't really got to try the sorcerer. I've played with a couple. The sorcerers are still good. They have to just got to be a little careful with your build. But yeah, monster sets still looking good. Grothar, depending on your build, looks really good. Lambert's, the Stam sets look really. Celine's really popular. Crags is still up there. It's looking pretty good. Viper, popular, not as noticeable, now, but a couple players are still rolling Viper. So I've gotten to play with a couple of the big boys today. I haven't seen a couple people, but a couple of the known players I've gotten to play with. I was playing with Speeds today. I kind of feel bad because when I was on Speeds' team, I was testing out a build, just messing with it. I wasn't anticipating anything, but I just feel bad. I was, I was like, Speeds, I'm sorry, man, if you watch this, that's all I can say, dude. A couple really strong builds. Some of the armor sets combo up really well. So depending on what you're trying to accomplish. The only thing I'm kind of a little disappointed is I was anticipating maybe something a little more. But as far as gameplay goes, it's solid. It's flowing. It works out really nice. I really wish they would have, excuse me, taken a little bit more direction towards isolating PvP setups for gear. Kind of like trials sets. There are a few things out there, but I was really wanting more specific, sets. But I won't get it. I'm not going to get any details or specifics. I'm just giving you guys a first overall impression with Magicka Builds. Yeah, I've played pretty much all the Magicka Builds except Sorcerer. I rolled with a couple Sorcerers. It's been hit and miss though for Sorcerers, depending on what they're doing with their builds. So just kind of giving an overview. Looks good, though the devs, you really made things kind of shine. Balance issues, don't worry about it, because seriously, you have to make a couple minor adjustments for resource management. Debuffs become very important now with your CCs, more now than ever. So if you're not, watching, resource management on top of being debuffed and getting, lossing out, playing, tactical, it's going to cost you. But overall, from a PvP perspective, it looks great. Everything's looking really, really good as far as what the devs you're trying to do with a lot of things. And classes are looking solid. A slight, slight altercations with trying to figure out champion points and how to amp up certain DPS builds. Healers, very important. If you don't have a healer and you're running on a self-sustain, it can work, but healers are still noticeable. Also, Nightblades are making a huge impact in gameplay. Very huge. I cannot stress, what a debuffed Nightblade can do to your team. Nightblade come in, hit you up with some disease, reduce the healing received. Big time impacts, man. Big time. Really, really good stuff here, guys. So it's awesome. It really is. Not a lot to worry about. I just wanted to kind of go over a couple of things. As far as Magicka, I'm going to hit up the stamina tomorrow. Play with the Magicka Sorcerer. See what I can get myself into. But yeah, Templars. It's amazing how strong a Magic Templar can be at this moment. Okay? I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Until they get debuffed and until they get, hit with something to, CC them or to affect them in some other way, or, you just set them up, they're beatable. And I'm not going to tell you guys they aren't. You just have to know how to take out a Magicka Templar, because with their healing and their sustain capabilities, they are still a force to be reckoned with. Magicka Nightblades, same kind of concept. If they're built right, they can keep in a fight for a longer duration. Stam builds, I'll tell you, I haven't got to test them yet, but certain ones are just wrecking. Stamplars still look really good. So, they're really good on 1v1. I mean, 1v1, Stamplar, unless you get the jump on him, which is unlikely, depending on the scenario. If they get the first jump, most likely they have the advantage right from the gate. Boom, done. You're pretty much going to be wrecked. Stam Sorks, oh my God. You can put these guys in 1v1, 1vx's. They have mobility, and they're able just to come back on you right when you think you lost them. They'll come back on you and just wreck your ass. Stam DK has got a lot of strength to it. Not as, I don't think, as hard hitting when I've been up against Stam DKs as much as like Stamplars or Stam Sorks, but it's hard to beat them, a good build. So, they'll just whittle you down, and you have to kind of understand that these guys are literally built for survival. So even what they lack in DPS, they make up for in the long haul, as far as being able to withstand a punishment, take a beating. And of course, like I said, Stam Blades, big impact, man. Our Stam Night Blades, big impact, man. Big. I mean, if you're built right as a Stam Night Blade, if you're built right, you are going to make huge impacts in PvP on any aspect. So, just take note, guys. I just kind of want to put it out there for balance issues. Each of them play different. This is true. My healer builds look solid. So I'm really happy with that. All my healer builds are looking good. So I didn't get to try a couple of things I've been wanting to. But, it's a lot. But, yeah, guys, just want to give you guys my first impressions. Everything's looking pretty good on PTS as far as, the balances of the classes. A couple of concerns, depending on race. Race can now impact things a little bit more than it did before, depending on what you're trying to accomplish and, set up with your gear. So take note of your racial passives, what you're gaining, what you need, and try to offset that difference. That's the only thing I'm going to tell you when you're taking a look at your 4 primary classes, the Dragon Knight, Nightblade, Sorcerer, and Templar. Those racial passives now you really want to pay attention to, and take into consideration those are there. That's part of your foundation, so you want to build up from that. Okay, guys, from your class and your racial passives. But other than that, the devs are doing good. No red flags or anything, so nothing negative to report. Just different, a little bit of different tactics is all. Just some difference in some tactics, and I think that's what you get on a PC versus console. Big thing though too is lack of voice communication on PC because they don't have in-game voice like console players do. So I don't get to talk verbally with anybody I'm PvPing with or trying to do anything. So that is different within itself. I think a lot of pre-made PvPs do really well on both ends because they can communicate verbally. They can get on a TeamSpeak or event and just go ahead and and coordinate a lot better. But yeah, so other than that, nothing major to report. I know somebody had asked, what's up with Magicka, Templar, Magplar, and Stamplar. And I want to go ahead. I'm going to test the Stam builds tomorrow and try to get around to it. But like I said, I've been playing around with different setups, different combos, seeing what works for me, what doesn't. It's trial and error, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. But Zos does a really good job giving you options. And I just really wish they would had separated more PV. There are certain things out there that do that. I'm not saying there isn't. I just was really hoping to see more specific PvP oriented setups, like increase damage to a player by 5%, by adding a buff, or some more effects that happen when something happens to you. That would have been nice. Counter defensive sets. So that would have been a nice setup. Maybe down in the pipeline down the road. Who knows? But yeah, overall, there it is. First impression of class balance for PvP. Nothing to stress out about. And also, depending on your playstyle, that's going to take effect also in your PvP. Nothing major changes. So just CCs, pay attention to your CCs a little bit more, and you might want to take into consideration a lot more bleed effects and what you're trying to do with monster sets if you're going to be using monster sets, and how you're going to efficiently proc them. And like Grothar, if you're going to proc Grothar, make sure you have that gap closer so you can maximize its potential when it procs. something that simple can make a world of a difference. So, yep, pretty much, guys. There it is. I do want to thank everybody for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please post below. And once again and always, have a nice day.